This figure requires so many bases just to support her hair, and this is one of the most ridiculous bases I've ever seen. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven, and now for today, it is the time of the month again, right? End of the current month, of the early of the next month. Yeah, we will take a look at the scale figures that were released in the most recent month. For today, we will be taking a look at anime scale figures, well, the female characters of course, that were released in October 2023. Now we shall go into myfigurecollection.net, and I'm dividing things into several sections as usual. Now we'll start off with the normal scale figures 1x8, 1x7, 1x6 that were out, and then we'll go through the 1x4 scales, pop-up rates and so on, right? And lastly, the ones that are actually just re-releases. Okay, so now we'll go in reverse, starting from 31st of the month backwards to the early of the month. The first one over here, this is an original art by 39 Nasu, original Tiger Girl Lily. I remember this one very well. So this one was made by 39 Nasu. So they are the ones who are making this figure. I thought it was Union Creative initially. 25,000 yen out on 31st of October. Okay, Tiger Girl, I mean, yeah, bunny girls are common, cat girls are common, dog girls a bit less common. There was this anime in the past, Dog Days. I actually watched all 3 seasons. And now Tiger Girl. Right. So this one is solely dependent on whether you like the character design. Of course, I do kind of like it, but at the same time, it doesn't feel special enough to make me want it badly in my collection. Moving on to the next one over here, we have a figure of Razorlin Stout or Ryza from Atelier Ryza. This is a 1x6 scale by Fat Company. Only 21,600 yen out on 30th of October. Okay, so to me, if I want a sitting pose figure of Ryza, I think the Max Factory one is a bit better because of all the dioramas around her, you know, that brick wall behind her and so on. But that one was pretty expensive, almost 30,000 yen or so. And despite this being a 1x6 scale, this is sitting pose, so I am not expecting this figure to be really big, right? Fortunately, despite the sitting pose, you can still appreciate her thick thighs a bit over there. So yeah, the face expression and the pose, I actually do like it quite a bit. And to be fair, 21k, 22k isn't too expensive either. So if you are looking forward to add another Ryza to collection, this might be a good purchase. Plenty of details for you to enjoy on this figure. Moving on to the next one, we have Hojo Nia, 1x7 scale from Dead Alive 4 by Belfine. 24,000 yen out on 30th of October. Another one of those Dead Alive characters, which are more like insert characters or side characters. They are not really part of the main cast until much later in the anime, Season 3, Season 4 in this case. So there are no figure brands out there that are picking up characters like this to make them into scale figures. So regardless of your opinion about this brand, Belfine, if you collect Dead Alive, you want every character, then this is something you need to go for before it is too late, because I predict the price is going to go up anyways, regardless of how the figure turns out. Which is not a good news for figure collectors, like you are forced to pay a really high price for something that is average or worse, but hey, this is how the figure market works, unfortunately. The next one here, okay, this one is, how do I put it? Seasonal anime and a manga, of course, and one of those characters where no one else is making a figure of, so it can go either ways. If the seasonal anime no one cares about it anymore, then yes, the value will be after release, or if this turns out to be unexpectedly popular, yeah, the value will go up instead because you don't have any alternatives. This elf at 1x7 scale manga version from Isekai Oji-san, which was hilarious as heck. There were some production issues with the anime. I think they suspended airing for a while and then they resumed it later, but regardless, that anime, I highly recommend to watch it. This one is going for 24,000, 26,000 yen. Wow. It is really expensive, but hey, Kadokawa is the one making this figure. They are the license holder. They can price it however they want. And knowing that you don't have alternatives, yeah, they can command a higher asking price from the get-go, right? Now, the pose on this thing, simple but attractive. Yeah, I kind of like this figure quite a bit over here. And yeah, this face expression, this is enough of a reason for you to buy one. So if you really loved Isekai Oji-san, I would say pick one up, regardless of what the future value might be, right? This is worth buying. Yep. Kadokawa figures, they're actually okay. They're not too bad, so you don't have to worry about the quality part. Next one here, this is among the main highlights of this month, October 2023. Makise Kurisu Reading Steiner version, 1/7 scale from Good Smile Company. This is over 33,000 yen out on 30th of October. So this one, I did not pre-order one. I'm waiting a bit to see how the market will react to this figure. Will the price go down or not? My personal prediction is that the price will go down slightly. Maybe not bargain binning until below 20,000 yen, but it might become a bit cheaper because 33k, while justifiable for a detailed figure like this, I don't think Good Smile overpriced it from the very beginning because they anticipated the price to drop over time, right? And even though I'm not really collecting Steins Gate stuff anymore, I used to own a Good Smile Makise Kurisu figure in the past, the White Coat Wonder Festival limited version, which I sold. This one is so much better than that White Lab Coat version that I might consider picking one up, yeah, just because I loved the anime. The next one, from the Quint Essential Quintuplets, we have Nakano Ichika at 1/6 scale date style by Good Smile Company, 17,000 yen out on 30th of October. Since several months ago, I have been recommending you guys, you want scale figure from Quint Essential Quintuplets. This is it, right? Every month they release one character. This month it is this girl over here, this short hair girl. And if you ask me which is my favorite girl, it is quite hard for me to choose, to be honest. This girl, short hair, I like her quite a bit also. I don't pick my girls based on whether their hair length is long or short, right? So really case by case basis. This one, once again, because it is a casual figure, right? Casual pose, it feels very natural. It feels relatable. That's very important. Like you are dating your girlfriend and then you go out for coffee together and this exact pose and scene unfolds right in front of you. It feels very relatable, and that is what I love so much about this figure over here, right? And these figures, 1/6 scale, they are really tall, they are cheap. Go for it. This should be your primary choice, your first choice if you're going for scale figures from the Quint Essential Quintuplets. Next one here from Higurashi When They Cry, we have Furude Rika 1/7 scale in school uniform. This is by Good Smile and Miyoki. 22,600 yen before taxes, and this is out on 30th October as well. Okay, this is too expensive for what it is, like 24k including taxes in basically a plain schoolgirl, a plain JK. Maybe the price will drop a bit, I don't know, but at the same time, this picture over here is the reason why you'll want this pair of figures over here, right? Like, they go so well together as a pair. Of course, just this one figure alone, it looks boring and plain, but when you get both and have them posed together like this figure is worth having, even though it is on the pricey side of things. And once again, for the same reason as that Nakano figure earlier, this looks natural, it feels relatable. Like a pair of schoolgirls taking selfies together. I love this so much, right? Slice of life vibes going on, and yeah, this is a really good buy. Miyoki is one of those brands, new brands that I have my eyes on them because I have expectations. They seem to be making great figures so far. Next one here, original character Kuro China-chan by Union Creative. This one is 18,000 yen out on 28th of October, and non-scale 25 centimeters, but this is more like 1/6 scale because she is leaning against what looks like a pedestal, I think. And this one, I complained about it in my figure news fix a few months ago as well when she went on pre-order. Like, the head is way too small. I know. They are just following the art style of the original artwork this figure was based on. But it looks weird. It feels like I'm looking at Omegamon from Digimon, you know, very small head, large body, and even longer legs. So the proportions is kind of out of whack with this one. I don't think I will like this one at all. Yeah. Next one here, original character again, Panda-chan, China dress, also Union Creative, 20,000 yen, out on 28th of October. Okay, this one, Panda-chan. Now, is she just wearing a loincloth around her hips that is only literally a single piece of cloth covering what appears to be maybe a G-string underneath? Okay, so once again, this is dependent on whether you like the character design, right? Yeah, she is adorable, hugging that plushy panda over there, but it doesn't feel special enough. Okay, next one here, Burn the Witch, Nini Spankle, V Vignet. Okay, this is by Bandai and Union Creative, 25,000 yen, out on 27th of October. What is the skill? Okay, no skill mentioned, but 30 centimeters. This is more like 1/7 scale, I think, because that effect part, right? The height of 30 centimeters is all the way to the top. The figure should be around 3/4 of the overall height. So 30 you divide by 4. Yeah, around 21, 22 centimeters, I think. Yeah, around 1/7 scale or so. Now, the effect part on this, normally I'm not a fan of them, but this one kind of looks quite nice in a way. Like, you know, the effect part is not getting in the way. I like how they cut a hole in the middle and then it doesn't obstruct you looking into the face of the character. So this one, I mean, as a display piece on a shelf, this looks amazing. I actually like it. Next one over here from the same series, we have Nihashi Noel Vivignet. Okay, Union Creative as well, 25,000 yen too. Okay, yeah, these two are meant to be a pair, and one of those scenarios where if you buy one figure, you want the other. They are just a pair that you need to have to complement each other, right? I like the other girl earlier a lot more than this one. This one, how do I put it? Character design wise, yeah, I don't like the face, you see. But at the same time, buying just one, not both, feels incomplete. This is something I call incomplete set syndrome, where if you don't collect everything in a set, sometimes you'll feel restless about it or you don't like it in some way. Yeah, some people have this issue with collecting figures, while others, they don't care that much. They just buy their favorite character and ignore the rest, right? Next one here from the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, we have Miyamoto Frederica at 1/7 scale by Seoul International. This is quite expensive at 27,000 yen. I don't out on 27th of October, and I don't know why they're asking so much for this figure. Yeah, it is very detailed, I get that. It is also one of the best looking Victorian era designed couch or sofa I've seen, but 27k. What do you think? Is it justifiable? I'm not even sure anymore because of how the currency rates has been fluctuating. Yeah, it's like 27k is a big number on paper, but then when you convert it to your own local currency or to US dollar, it doesn't feel as bad suddenly. Yeah, that kind of feel over here. With this figure, yeah, I'm interested in the couch, in the sofa more than the main figure itself. I don't collect Idolmaster anymore. Used to do so in the past. Up next, okay, Machikado Mazoku ni Chome, yeah, season 2. This is seasonal anime too, but is it a manga? I have no idea, right? I'm not paying attention to manga. Hinatsuki, Mikan, and Michael, 1/7 scale by Medicos Entertainment. 18,000 yen out on 27th as well. Oh, Two-Face Expressions. Yeah, this may be something seasonal, and there we go. These three characters, because they are seasonal, you can't expect any other brands to pick up characters like this. So if you want figures from this series for any reason, you liked it maybe, then perhaps you have to go for something made by Medicos, even though their QC is not necessarily the best in the figure business out there, right? The base is plenty unique though, like those signboards she's standing on. And the figure's colors, yeah, I love the colors over here. I love bright, vibrant colors. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have not safe for work figures, Spohame, Manoji Kanon, 1/6 scale by Native and Rocket Boy. Another one of those characters which feels like Bomber Girl to me, must be the same artist, I think. 24,364 yen before taxes, so this is like closer to 27k. Height would be 29 centimeters at 1/6, so the pricing is kind of reasonable actually. Yeah, isn't this just Bomber Girl but with smaller oppai, I think? This is just Bomber Girl to me, right? Regardless of what they call her. I really wish that I could afford all these X-rated figures by Native Boy and their whole gang, right? The problem with these X-rated figures is that the return on investment is not there. The ROI is almost non-existent. You buy it just for personal enjoyment. This one is okay, I can review something like this on YouTube, but for the more lewd figures, yeah, I can't review it here at all without getting into trouble. Here we have a second faceplate, which looks just as nice. Yeah, I would have a hard time choosing between the two. The next one here from El Coco. See, they have been around for some time, but I haven't been paying attention to them until they put these 3 spy classroom figures on pre-order for 2,800 yen each at 1/7 scale. So they have been making figures for a while over here, and this is Izumi Yuki at 1/8 from Heaven Burns Rate. This is about, what's the price? The price is not mentioned here, but I believe this is around 5,000 yen plus also. Oh no, 2,500 yen, there we go. This is 2,500 yen price figure level pricing. No user pictures yet, unfortunately, out on 26th of October. Okay, actually there is quite a bit of stuff going on over here for a figure of this low cost. Even if this is pop-up rate quality, this is cheaper than a pop-up rate, and they just have to cramp in just an equal amount of details or more than that. I don't like the character design of this one, but I'm curious, like, this is so cheap, cheaper than pop-up rates by a large margin. How are they able to maintain everything we are seeing in this product picture over here? Maintain the quality and what is being promised from these pictures over here. It would be interesting indeed. The next one over here, okay, we finally have something from FGO, Scar Touch Skadi 1/7 skills caster by Fat Company from FGO. This is 21,000 yen before taxes, almost. Out on 25th of October. Okay, this Scar Hack over here, this is not my #1 most wanted FGO figure out there. Like, I can afford to wait a bit for the price to drop. And this isn't even my top #1 wanted Scar Hack caster figure. I want the Good Smile one, which is huge and expensive and not coming out anytime soon. This one, I don't mind having it at all because this is only 21,000 yen. It is quite affordable for a 1/7 scale figure with kind of a unique base, right? But that is also where my concern is, because of this thing being relatively affordable, did Fat Company cut any corners? That is my concern over here, because Fat Company has a history of doing a good job with their more expensive figures, but for the cheaper ones, that is where QC starts to have some issues over here. Of course, with the painting specifically, all those really thin trims, those thin color trims around her dress, those silver trims over there, that is my main concern. Like, they get the painting done right over there. If they can get the paint work on this done correctly, yeah, I would be really impressed at this 21,000 yen price point. Next one from Danganronpa V3, we have Akamatsu Kaede and Monokuma at 1/7 scale by Fat Company, 24,360 yen before taxes, out on 25th. Another one of those characters where you don't get many choices in the figure market. So this one, I would say go for it if you want it. This figure looks amazing. They are standing on some piano keys over there. Yeah, this figure is incredible for 24,000 yen. And so far, figures from Danganronpa, they actually hold up to their value pretty well, even going up after release until they get re-released, right? So this is one of those figures where you should grab it ASAP if you want one. The only one single Danganronpa figure I still have today is Kirigiri Kyoko by Fat Company. The very first release, I think that was back in year 2012. So that figure is almost 11 years old by now. And yeah, the box of that figure looks like trash by now. I think I've done a good job protecting the box and keeping it as long lasting as possible. But we're talking about a decade over here. Moving on to the next one from Niji Sanji, we have Inui Toko 1/7 skill by Kotobukiya at 18,000 yen out on 25th. Niji Sanji, VTuber stuff, yeah, the ones Koto are making, they are very affordable. Somewhere between 16,000 to 19,000 yen or so. And this one, this is quite attractive. I like this figure quite a bit. Yeah, 18,000 yen, I would say this is a no-brainer purchase. Like her enough? Go and get one. Don't you see all those folds, yeah, around her maid apron or dress over there? Don't expect too much shading work. Kotobukiya, that is the reason why their figures are cheap, you see. They don't do weathering or shading. Especially on the black color parts on her outfit, I can already tell they are just plain paint job over there. And most likely, yeah, everywhere else is the same over here. As long you keep your expectations in check for something under 20,000 yen, you will be very satisfied with the figure. Moving on to the next one, okay, this is quite a good one as well. We have Neptune from Choujigen Game Neptune, 1/7 scale little purple version by Good Smile Company. This is 27,000 yen before taxes, more like 30k, out on 25th of October. I have Purple Heart from Outer, and that is one of my saddest figures I have in my collection. Really good figure, but I broke her wing. Yeah, I tried to repair it the brute force way. I even put a screw inside. I actually put a real screw inside the figure. And now if I were to repair it the proper way, it is nearly impossible. Unless I have skills of a professional, you know. Now back to this figure over here. Actually do like it quite a bit, even though this looks a bit like a wedding dress figure in some way. Half wedding dress, half tenshi, and normally I'm not a fan of wedding dress figures because they're way too common. As for this one, I suppose it is just down to the details departments, even though this is mostly white color, but there is some shading you can see over here. Despite being mostly white in color, I think those purple, violet color and blue color base over there, they did a good job and it made the figure really stands out quite a bit. Like the color contrast between a plain monotonous colors and those bright, vibrant blue and purple, yeah, it makes the figure stands out a bit more. And I'm sure Neptune collectors are going to be really pleased with this figure. Will the price drop? Well, this is a bit hard to say because once again, this is a Good Smile figure. They mass produce it into oblivion. It is likely the price will drop, but the problem is we are looking at Choujigen Neptune, where they are very popular, at least in Japan, to the extent the price started going up, and then Outer had to re-release their Purple Heart and Black Heart, you see. So this one, I find it hard to predict the value with this one. Up next, we have two scale figures from S-Fire, which is Sega's premium scale figure division. This one is quite reasonable in price. I would even call it cheap in a way. 1/7 scale Emilia from ReZero. This is only 20,000 yen before taxes. So yeah, 22k. Japan's GST is 10%. Okay, and this is one of the most unique ReZero figures out there. Like all those Chinese dress, whatever dress it is, different versions of Ram and Ram, which is so out of character. And then, yeah, I know this is also out of character in a way, but unique in a sense that you don't see figures of that main character carrying a child's version of herself. So this is very different from most figures out there, and for that reason alone, I think it is worth picking up. I said the very same thing about Ram. Ram came out last month, and for this month, we have Emilia over here. Yeah, this is so, like, so adorable, that child over there. And also, we have Ram over here for the same price and same skill. So this month, you'll have to pay for two, Emilia and Ram, but I mean, two skill figures, 44,000 yen. Not too bad, really. Of course, I can say this is out of character. You don't see Ram smiling like this, but I'm willing to give this one a slip, an exception, just for being different from most other ReZero figures out there. Up next, from AU Densetsu, we have Fie Clozel, 1/8 scale by Kotobukiya, 17,500 yen out on 25th October. Okay, so for this one, this is a girl, right? Yeah, a girl, I think. Okay, yeah, female. Is it one of those tomboy characters? Because I don't play the game, of course. I'm not worried about the face, you see. Kotobukiya always gets the face of their figures right. But what I'm focusing on is the outfit, because to me, I care a lot about details. Wow, she is small compared to the dude over there. Okay. And of course, Kotobukiya exclusive, right? Separate faceplate. For this one, I would prefer this faceplate, I think, over that exclusive one. Yeah, like the two faceplates are way too similar to each other. I think you'll be fine without the exclusive part. Just like Lumin from Genshin Impact. Same problem. I got that Kotobukiya exclusive faceplate, but the problem is it doesn't look unique at all. It feels very similar to the default one. Next one over here from Dolo Dalo. I think this is an ongoing anime series, or has it already finished airing? Because I saw this title in an anime torrent site. Chinese anime, I think. 1/7 skills Xiao Wu. Lifelong Protection by Mietos. This is almost 30,000 yen. Wow, the price difference is really stark over here, you see. Japanese price is 30,000 yen, but in Chinese currency, it is only 1,000 CNY. But 1,000 CNY, Chinese yuan, if I'm not mistaken, that is lower than 30,000 yen. It is not even close to 30,000 yen. So for us who are able to buy scale figures on our own from Taobao, for example, yeah, we stand to benefit. And this is also one of the reasons why, if the figure brand is a Chinese brand, I tend to prefer to grab it from Taobao over pre-ordering it in Ami or HLJ or any Japanese sites for the matter, because the Chinese pricing is a lot cheaper actually. Now with this one, even if they said this is 30k yen, I think a lot of people would have been able to justify it because of, yeah, that tree branch she is sitting on. Like, this looks almost magical fantasy look over here. But if you can get it cheaper, why not, right? Okay, and now we have only one single picture over here. And this is another one of those figures where I want the base more than the main figure itself, because I don't care much nor know anything about the main character. Up next, another Mietos figure. So this is from Naraka Blade Point. Tsuchi Mikado Kurumi at 1/7 scale. This is 24,200 yen, or you see this? Just now, this figure is 24,000 yen in Japan, 1,000 Chinese yuan in China. So 1,000 Chinese yuan, 24k yen, and the other figure is also 1,000 Chinese yuan but 30,000 yen in Japan. You see that? You see that? This is why buy Chinese brand figures from China, not from Japan. Wow, they are really putting a premium on stuff they predict to be popular, I think. Now this one, once again, a character which I'm not that interested in, but I am very attracted to the whole premise, the whole setup of this figure. Yeah, very Chinese, I know, but this is very attractive. And I can tell that that hair over there that bangs in front of her, it is hiding a really huge forehead underneath, right? Whenever I see anime girl with this hairstyle over here, this specific hairstyle, I think Sanada Yukimura, for example, from Hyakario Run, same hairstyle, and there are many other examples. If the hairstyle looks like this and then they have a lot of hair covering the forehead like this, guaranteed there is a huge forehead underneath, right? Okay, back to topic over here. This is very attractive. I like this figure a lot. Okay, I know nothing about her, but I'm also the kind of person who buys things based on character design. And yeah, I would love to review this figure, seriously. I haven't reviewed a single Mietos figure on this channel yet, I think. Up next, we have Taimanin RPG, Clone Asagi from KO6 1/6 scale. You see, normally I don't pay attention to figures by KO6 because all they do is fit us with H-cup, J-cup, giant TD anime girls with really huge hips that I'm not interested in because I don't like those proportions. To me, that is not to my taste. To me, it is just fat, you know? That is how I see it. But this time around, we are talking about Taimanin Asagi, Taimanin RPG. So things make a bit more sense when it comes to body proportions. Not to say that it is similar to our normal human body proportions. It is still anime physique, anime figure proportion, but at least it doesn't look as bad, right? So we have this version over here. This is the fair skin color version, 23,000 yen out on 20th of October, and there is a 10th version for the same price. But specifically for this character, I think a fair skin suits her a lot more. This color scheme looks a bit odd to me, but that scarf is in a much nicer color, right? Next one here, 1/6 scale Toru from Kobayashi Maid Dragon by Kaitendo. This is 28,000 yen out on 20th of October, and this one I don't like this at all, not because of the giant oppai. The giant oppai is just one reason why I don't like it, but it almost feels like she has no arms at all. Yeah, it is behind her, but I don't like this at all. Up next, we have a 1/6 scale figure of Elf Luna, original character from Vibrastar, and at 1/6, this is only 21,000 yen, incredible value, out on 19th of October. Now, this figure is another good example of why I normally don't like figures that are in lying position. This is not exactly lying, but close enough because, you know, the legs are obstructing her body. I can't appreciate the details on her body, at least from this angle, right? Maybe from other angles you can appreciate the figure a lot better, but I'm not going to scroll because I will need to censor those casted off pictures and I'm too lazy to do that, right? Next one here from Goblin Slayer, Kano Otome. Okay, this one over here, I have forgotten this figure even existed. You know, when the one made by, which company was it? Kadokawa, that went on pre-order lately with a stone background. I thought that was the first figure of this maiden over here, but yeah, there are more out there, like this one over here. I've forgotten. This is by Any Gift and Ami. Okay, at 1/7 scale, 22,000 yen, quite reasonable, and out on 19th of October. Okay, so with this one, oh, we can actually have the figure displayed without the blindfolds, right? But given that we saw her being blindfolded all the time, I think it feels more normal to display her with the blindfold on. Yeah. Up next, from Senki Jesho Sympho Gear, XV, that's season 5, I think. Is it XV or 15? But it's not season 15, it is more like Senki Jesho Sympho Gear X season 5, I think. Yeah. Tsukuyomi Shirabe 1/7 scale gear inner version by Hobby Stock and Wing Company. 21,000 yen out on 19th of October. Okay, so this one, I covered this figure before in Figure News Fix. And yep, same comments as last time. There are not many brands making figures from this series, right? And this one, it looks quite good. Like, I think this is all you need. My favorite is still Chris, you know, Yukine Chris. I love her big guns, big cannons, Gatling, mini guns, and so on. Up next, from One Piece, we have Carrot by Lightyear Studio. This is, yeah, licensed resin figure brand. But this is polystone, not resin. Polystone is harder and heavier than resin, and you can produce even more details than even resin and PVC. But very fragile, right? So this is 5,400 Chinese yuan. Yeah, like over 1,000 US dollars or so. You see, with these very heavy figures or statues, right? Yeah, they tend to come with a giant base because the figure is heavy enough and they need something even heavier to weigh the figure down so that it does not fall over. Next one over here from Toho Project with Hakure Reimu. This is Reimu? Okay. 1/8 scale Komajo Densetsu edition by Quest Q. This is 26,000 yen before taxes, out on 12th of October. I couldn't even tell this is Reimu at all. Right, maybe a very different version of her. I'm not familiar with Toho, by the way. Oh, this is a nice photo. You see, sometimes when you get the lighting right with photography, you are able to make a figure look more detailed than it actually is, and this is an excellent example over here. Of course, free wall scroll, as long as you pay for the shipping, right? Pose is on the plain side of things, but I suppose that the amount of details and intricacies on this figure makes up for it. Up next, from Love Life Nijigasaki Gakuen, we have Osaka Shizuku 1/7 scale by Katie Cole and Kadokawa, Odaiba Beach Girl versions, or Imon Toys and Kadokawa. So Imon Toys is the one that made this figure. Okay, now for a swimsuit figure, I actually like this one quite a bit over here, but I believe I've brought this up before regarding Love Live. It feels like Bandai is beating a dead horse somehow. Maybe it has great music, right? I don't know about the latest Love Live, like how good the music, the songs are. But the character design is among some of the most uninspiring character designs I've seen in the entire Love Live franchise. Moving on to the next one, we have Milim Nava Wedding Bikini version 1/7 skill by KD Cole and Kadokawa from that slime anime. This is going for 30,000 yen for the limited version with tapestry. Standard version still cost almost 27,000 yen. Now this is seriously overpriced unless some other merchandise is included with the package, right? And once again, I never really understood this entire concept of wedding bikini. Like, who wears a bikini that looks like a wedding dress in an actual wedding? This is, of course, purely an anime fan service concept, right? There are so many better Milim Nava figures out there, like so many choices, that this does not make sense. Not at this price, at least. 20,000 yen, 22,000 yen, maybe. 27k and up, no. Just go for other choices out there. Next one over here, okay, so Uzaki's mom is out. Uzagi Suki from Uzaki-chan wa Asobitai from KD Cole and Kadokawa. 18,000 yen for the standard, 20,000 yen for the special set. To me, this figure, I think I've discussed this in Figure News Fix before as well. 18,000 yen may seem reasonable on the surface, but it feels like this could have been even a bit cheaper, like 15,000 yen. Yeah. Up next, original character Suju 1/7 skill by Infinity Studio under their SSR figure series. Infinity Studio is under Prime 1 Studio as well as Prisma Wing, though I believe this could be their Chinese branch, something like Good Smile Company and Good Smile Arts Shanghai, something like that, right? Because you see, they have a Chinese price and a Japanese price as well, 900 Chinese yuan or 20,000 Japanese yen. And in this case over here, this is an excellent example of why I like to buy Chinese brand figures from China instead of from Japan. This one came out in April in China, but in October in Japan and elsewhere. See? So if I were to get this figure from China, I would have it early by 6 months and I could like take photos and review it earlier than anyone else. Not just that, as I mentioned earlier with other figures, there is a chance where you might be able to score the figure for slightly cheaper, but of course, language barrier is there if you can't handle Chinese, right? This figure, yeah, Animal Girls, some of you will like her. I like Animal Girls as well, but this specific character design over here, this is not really my kind. Moving on to the next one, okay, we have 1/7 skill Marin Kitagawa by Aniplex from My Dress Up Darling. This is 16,000 yen plus before taxes, out on 6th of October. Alright, so with this figure of Marin Kitagawa, I don't have any plans of purchasing one, even though this is really cheap, like 16,000 yen before taxes. So don't expect me to review this figure right here, and part of the reason is, yeah, I think this figure is a bit too plain and boring. Like, it is just a schoolgirl, right? School uniform and nothing much else going on. I do predict this figure to be very popular though. Part of it is the price, and even if I don't review it, eventually someone else will, right? Okay, I know that a lot of you guys love Marin Kitagawa. I like her as well. And that is why I went out and reviewed 3 different resin figures of her, but if I were to specifically go out and buy something, I don't think this one would be it. I want something a bit more unique in a way. Maybe the next Marin Kitagawa figure, which is her in her bikini, and she is not on the futon, and she is undergoing this meshing process. Yeah, maybe I might get that one by Aniplex. As for this one over here, even though I don't plan on reviewing this one, we are talking about Aniplex over here, which is one of the most consistent figure brands out there nowadays. So I don't think you have to worry too much. If you like this figure, go ahead and buy one. Full stop. Yep. Okay. Moving on to the next figure over here, Honkai Impacted Kiana Castellana 1/7 skill by Any Game and Any Gift. So this one is expensive, 34,000 yen plus, out on 4th of October, and they really have a really steep hill to climb over here. You see, we have Outer and Apex Toys having made excellent scale figures of Kiana already, And now any gift comes up with one which looks just as good, if not better. But it will be really rough trying to compete against Apex and Alter. Now, this one is of course Photoshop, you know, like there is no way they're using real fire to photograph this figure. The figure would just melt. And what I like about this figure is that, yeah, the pose is very dynamic. That is what I like about her. You know, futuristic looking character design, science fiction feel, this is totally my kind of thing. I like this one a lot as well. And if I were a collector of Honkai Impacted, and especially this character Kiana, I'm going to have a tough time choosing which one to go for. Of course, I can go for all three, but a person such as indecisive as me when it comes to figures of my favorite characters, yeah, I'm going to have a rough time choosing. The next two figures, they are One Fest Shanghai exclusives. Most of us normal human beings won't be able to get our hands on one, but I doubt that most of you watching this will care about this Cerno figure over here from Toho Project. This tanned skin color version, is this even tanned? This is more like chocolate color already. But anyways, with this specific character, Cerno, I think fair skin color suits her a lot more than this color. So this is something really weird to me, right? The next one here is also a Wonder Festival Shanghai exclusive. Original character Luna 1/7 scale by Astrum Design. This is a pink version. 828 Chinese yuan. One Fest Shanghai exclusive, this pink version. The original version was, black color outfit, and then the hair was more to violet purple color, which was already really nice. This pink version looks even better. And it feels like I'm looking at a human Hello Kitty or something like that. But unfortunately, this is something most of us mere mortals, normal human beings out there will never be able to get our hands on. I do like this color scheme a lot, right? Okay, so that is all for the first section of today's video. Now we move on to the second section, 1x4 skills, right? So there are not too many. I mean, at the bottom you see a lot over there, but these are all male characters, Western comics or Bifu stuff, which I can't put on screen because they are very X-rated. The first one here, we have a 1x4 skill Caroline Yuri Underbinding Creators Opinion Series, 10th Bunny version. Okay, this one is 30,000 yen only at 1x4, bargain. Out on 31st of October 2023. Okay, with this specific figure, came out many months ago with a fair skin color. Now we're getting a tanned skin color, or sometimes I call this a 2P color version, or second player in gaming terms, like the same character but different costume and color, right? And with this specific character, the first version that came out many months ago, it was really popular. A lot of people liked her. And now with this 10th version, my opinion on this one is that this one oddly looks great. I like this one a lot. Normally, I'm not a fan of 10th skin colors, but there are always exceptions. I think in the end, it is all about character design, right? Some characters, they are suitable for 10th skin, some not so much, like that Cerno earlier, right? This one, I like this hot pink and tanned skin combination a lot, together with that bright blonde hair. I think the original color, the hair was not as pale in color, but this combo over here, this combo color scheme, for some reason it appeals to me so much. The second one over here, okay, this is Vittorio Veneto, a freeing 1x4 scale B style from Azur Lane, going for 40,000 yen out on 28th of October. Normally, I'm not a fan of lying pose figures like this because it is hard to appreciate the details on the figure, but on the other hand, you can always place this figure somewhere lower on the shelf, right? The lowest shelf, which is close to the floor, then maybe you'll still be able to see the figure from above. Up next, we have Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie, Gojo Satoru 1x4 scale by freeing. Okay, so I don't know the price of this thing. Before I scroll down, I'm gonna guess the pricing on this thing, and I would say this could be 60,000 yen. 60 to 70,000 yen. Solely based on what I saw with, Rengoku from Hime Yaiba, right? Just because of those flame effect parts, they charge us a lot for it. And then I think there were some other figures with all these effect parts, and then they started asking for 60k, 70k or more than that. But for this figure, there is almost no effort needed to paint the figure. I mean, it's just plain black, right? This part and the effect part over there. But I'm certain that Free Ink is going to charge us a premium for it. So let's go out and see the price. 57,000 yen, including tax, over 60k. Yeah, my guess is more or less relatively accurate. The next one from Bunny Suit Planning. Okay. Sophia F. Showing B style, Free Ink 1x4. This is 40,000 yen out on 25th of October. Okay, with this figure, I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. Like, okay, bunny suit, but with all the crucial parts not being covered. Okay, bunny suit planning. Oh, I see. It is still a work in progress. They are still planning on how to design it, but then they have to test it anyway, whether it fits her, so she wears it, even though the clothes are not yet complete. Bunny suit planning. Okay. Up next, from the Rising of Shield Hero, we have Raphtalia B Style 1x4, but this is the Barrelate Bunny version. There was a stocking version that released in the past, so this one is only 26,000 yen at 1x4 out on 25th. Okay, with Raphtalia specifically, yeah, without those stockings, it looks a bit weird. Some characters, they look fine when you put them in a bunny suit with barrel legs, but for Raphtalia, I think it looks a bit off to me. And you know, that brown color hair and that red color outfit, it feels like a mismatch to me in colors. And as a result, because the color theory is way off over here, yeah, the figure doesn't look as attractive to me. So even at a lowly price of 26,000 yen, I'm not sure if I can recommend this at all, unless you're a really hardcore fan of Raphtalia. The next one here, this is perhaps the best 1x4 skill this month from Free Ink, New Jersey. Okay, Free Ink and Union Creative, this one is going for 60,000 yen, well duh, of course. I call this the best looking 1x4 skill this month, but with an asterisk. She looks great. I love the pose over here, like very dynamic, dancing pole, right? But the problem is the base, right? Okay, this figure looks great otherwise, but once you look at the base, you'll start laughing. This figure requires so many bases just to support her hair, and this is one of the most ridiculous bases I've ever seen in any anime figure. Like, what was Free Ink even thinking when they come up with this design for the base? Maybe just give us, I don't know, give us a modular base, like one single large base, but then broken into several parts, and then we just have to assemble it together. I think that would make much more sense. Now we have multiple small bases surrounding the figure. It just looks absurd. It is ridiculous. Like, who came up with this idea? That guy really needs to be fired or something like that. Next one over here, okay, we have Binding Creator's Opinion, Satonaka Nonoka 1x4 scale white bunny version by Binding and Native, 28,000 yen at 1x4 scale, out on 20th of October. Now, okay, this one, the character design is a bit like generic. Is this Love Lives Kotori? Love Lives Kotori having to do a side job for extra income, you know, all those shady stuff, because she is, okay, maybe pulling her outfits like this, that is something different from a usual bunny figure, but regardless, I think it might be the color scheme over here. It is a bit on the dull side, so I'm not as attracted to the figure. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is also one of the best 1x4 skills this month, right? In fact, this figure of X10 might have overtaken that Azur Lane New Jersey figure. The next 1x4 skill over here, an original character X10 by Free Ink. This is also one of the best 1x4 skill figures by Free Ink this month, and I would say this figure might have overtaken that New Jersey figure earlier. Just ever so a bit better, just because she does not come with a ridiculous base. But still, this base is it is just not nice at all for 1x4 skill. I mean, I would expect a better looking base than a plain red color disc over there. Is this what you guys are getting in the final product? Let me know down in the comments below. And there are already QC rejected copies for sale in Taobao for less than half the price. I'm not even sure if I should pick up one of them just because I like the character design on this one so much. So this one is 36,000 yen, which isn't too bad for what you're getting over here. I like this a lot already. Moving on to the next one, we have Mito Ikumi 1x4 skill bunny version by Free Ink. Okay, this one is 33,000 yen out on 12th of October. This is more like bikini, right? Bikini outfit with bunny ears on rather than a traditional bunny suit. But this is how you get the colors right on the figure. Vibrant cobalt blue color with yellow hair. This is color theory at work, and because of that, the figure looks so much more striking in colors, right? The next one over here from Eden's Zero, we have Rebecca Blue Garden, 1x4 skill, freeing Beastyle again. This one is 35,000 yen out on 12th of October. Okay, this is more like you buy it just to enjoy her backside. You see the hair on this figure over here is not as rich in color. It is not bright yellow, right? And that's the difference. The outfit is also blue color, cobalt blue color, but just because the hair is not as rich in color, this figure is not as striking as the Mito Ikumi figure earlier. So colors are really important. Up next, from Eden's Zero as well, we have Homura Kogetsu, also freeing Beastyle 1x4, 35,000 yen out on 12th of October. It amazes me every time how quickly freeing gets this 1x4 skill figures out. And if you happen to order both characters from Eden's Zero, there we go, 70,000 yen minimum plus shipping, which is a lot to pay for in a single month, right? Okay, so this one looks a bit better just because her bunny outfit is red color. Red and blue, they are still contrasting colors. They can go really well if done correctly. Up next, from To Love Through Darkness, Sairenji Haruna. Okay, this is a Barrelic version because she came out before once in the past, freeing Beastyle and 25,000 yen out on 12th of December. Now you see, with Haruna, despite having a Barrelic over there, she doesn't look as bad or as weird as Raftalia earlier. It still looks fine with this one over here. So in the end, I suppose it is down to character design. Like every character is different. And Miya Kurosaki over there, yeah, they look fine even without stockings, right? Okay. Moving on to the next one, we have a 1x4 skill Kurosawa Mashiro, not Masahiro. Masahiro is a guy's name, right? Kurosawa Mashiro by Native and Hot Venus. So Hot Venus makes 1x4 too nowadays, not just binding. Original Creators Collection. Okay, this one is just under 30,000 yen. Nice pricing for a 1x4 skill out on 10th of October. Okay, this is a pretty unique nurse figure in a way, and I like how she is putting on gloves in a way. Wait, is this nurse or more like police officer? Okay, doesn't matter, not important, as long the figure looks great, right? Okay, and I'm gonna stop scrolling here. Despite the post being rather bland, but at under 30,000 yen, this is still a pretty good purchase. And that is all for 1x4 skills. Now we shall move on to the next section, also skill figures 181716. But these figures mostly, they don't have an exact release date, just a release month coming out in October, but no date. Some figure companies, they do that, especially Chinese companies and also companies like Phoenix or Shibuya Scramble figure. Now we shall move on to the figures. Okay, the first one over here, we have original character Nia, China dress version by Wings Incorporated, out in October 2023. This figure actually came out in late September in China for some reason. This is common for Chinese brands, but Japanese brand a month earlier in China, that is kind of interesting and unusual. This figure, I remember this one quite well also. I covered her in my figure news fix. Well, and I called this figure generic, like not very unique in any way. Yeah, like just a sitting pose in Chinese dress, and Chinese dress figures are so common nowadays. The only thing special about this one is this modern looking bench she is sitting on with some Chinese inspired design over there. Yeah, I do like the bench, but for the main figure itself, nothing much going on. The next figure from Blue Archive, we have Sorasaki Hina, 1x7 skill by Beeful. And why does it have to be Beeful? I kind of want this figure out in October for 27,000 yen, but this thing is made by Beeful and I don't really have much confidence in them, right? This character design is amazing. Like, I love this character design so much. Wow. They gave this character to the wrong figure brand to make a figure of. This is a bit sad, right? And you see the comments at the bottom are not helping at all. Okay, okay, so this comment over here, figure tracker 010. Wifey Hina finally arrived. She is gorgeous. I'm so happy she came out well, but and mine came with 0 damage. At least no damage. Nitpicking, you see. This person calls it nitpicking, but to me that is way too much issues going on with a 27,000 yen figure. Her hair is a little rough in spots, but nothing terrible. There is also some glue film staining on her panties, but it's basically unnoticeable without direct bright light. Fair enough. And picking her up, holding her upside down, of course. The front iron sight on her MG42 is slightly bent. This is the one thing I can't accept. I mean, the figure is wielding a weapon, be it a cannon, a rifle, or a sword, a spear, but the tip is just slightly bent. I couldn't take that. Like, I will get really annoyed when I see it. My OCD will just trigger, you know? So this is the one part I can't accept. Moving on to the next one, we have RFB at 1/7 skill from Girls, Frontline by Wings Incorporated. Just over 18,000 yen out in October as well. This figure, I also commented her in my figure news fix. While the figure appears to be pretty simple on the surface, but I call this an ideal package as a figure because, well, you have a figure with a really decent pose, and then she is sitting on a diorama base, but the base isn't too big or too clunky either. Like, the size is very compact, and of course, overall you get a firearm over there next to her. So this figure, yeah, an ideal package or perfect package. Next one, okay, we have a pair of figures from Shiroi Aquano Aquatop, Miyazawa Fuka from Phoenix and Furio. This thing, for some reason, is limited and exclusive in Japan, and she goes for 45,000 yen. Yeah, sure, this is a really unique levitation effect over here, but why is this thing worth 45,000 yen? I don't see how this figure is worth that much at all. And the next figure, same thing over here. Yeah, they are meant to be a pair, and this one is a bit worse in the sense that I can see that god in the middle over there. Yeah, that is not nice, right? Yeah, so these two figures, if you get both, which ideally you should if you love them because they are meant to be a set, 90,000 yen here before any shipping cost. This is absurd, even for a full wheel figure. For a Phoenix figure, like, this is way too much. And this figure, if I'm not mistaken, these two figures, in fact, they were supposed to be out last year, and these two figures were delayed by almost a year, which is insane when I think about it. Moving on to the next one, we have Asuna by Shubra Scramble figure and Eastream. This is the crystal dress version, going for 35,000 yen out in October as well. Okay, so this figure of Asuna certainly is quite unique in a way, right? This Asuna is very different from other Asuna figures out there, but I'm not really a big fan of it. Like, the base down there, I think that is the entire Sword Art Online world map at the base over there. I'm not sure if I like this at all because it reminds me of Disney stuff in a way. Know that Walt Disney logo and then get that castle in the middle. Yeah, it reminds me of that and I don't like it, right? The figure itself is pretty nice though. The next one over here from BNHA, we have Uraraka Ochako by Askfire, Sega's premium skill figure brand. This is at 1/8 skill, 21,780 yen out in October. So with Uraraka, so many options. There are so many different skill figures of her at different price points. You want something cheaper, I think Kotobukiya Art FX will do the job. You want it even cheaper? Yeah, pop-up rates. And I think eventually brands like Kadokawa, Kadokawa Light, their low-cost figure, or Full Stenitol will eventually pick up a character like this. And then there are more options in the price figure market. This is quite a nice looking Uraraka figure. And as far so far, I've seen their figure of Ram, and they did quite a fine job. But then again, Sega is very experienced in spamming Ram figures, so I'm not surprised with that one. For Uraraka, we will see, right? There are no user pictures yet. Moving on to the next one from Naruto, we have Kamatari and Temari. Okay, under Mega House Naruto Guilds DX series, this is version 2. 36,000 yen actually out on 27th of October. Okay, so this one is going to be really expensive for sure, right? I mean, Mega House stuff are pretty overpriced in general. This figure, okay, it is a non-skill, and that is actually a red flag, because we take a look at dimensions. This thing is 24 centimeters in width, 25 in length, and 30 centimeters in height. 30 centimeters in height, but you factor in that huge fan she is holding at the base. Yeah, the figure is more like 20 centimeters or so. And this is typical Mega House we're talking about, so I'm not surprised at all. Not my kind of figure. The next one here from Uma Musume, we have Gold Ship, 1x7 scale by Phoenix, out in October for 26,000 yen. Yeah, maybe a year ago when this figure went on pre-order, for such a simple figure, I would call this really overpriced. But by today, in year 2023, 26,000 yen is sounding to be a lot more normal. Like a normal price range for a premium 1x7 scale nowadays. Last year, yeah, it was pretty overpriced. But regardless, I would still say this is slightly overpriced in year 2023. But this is a really nice looking figure of Gold Ship. However, my way of seeing this brand Furio and Phoenix, right, to me it feels like they are overrating themselves, like they are not even as good as they think they are. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the figures in person, they were okay, but nowhere near the top brands out there, right, to justify the kind of pricing they're asking for. The next one over here by the same brand, we have Virginia Robertson from Luminous Witches, one of the Strike Witches spin-offs, right? I haven't watched it yet. Out in October for 24,500 yen. Okay, the Strike Witches I know are girls in school uniforms, military school uniforms, riding on flying rifles or something like that. So this doesn't feel very Strike Witches to me. Of course, I haven't watched Luminous Witches yet, so I have no idea what that anime is about, right? Okay. So this figure is probably less than 20,000 yen, but that base is responsible for the over 4 or 5,000 yen of price hike. Okay, moving on to the next one. I'm not going to read that title over there. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Like, this is Hanlingsha by BN Figure. BN Figure is Bandai Namco, but China brand of Bandai. This one is going for 1,100 Chinese yuan. So that is about 22,000 yen or so, I think. Yeah, I'm just roughly guessing over here. Must be one of those characters from Chinese RPG games. Okay, the base is quite nice. Like, we have a crystal rock base, and then we have a treasure. Yeah, MMORPG games, you go on treasure hunt, and then you come across a treasure chest full of gold coins inside, but that is traditional Chinese gold coin, you know? Like, it is shaped almost like a ship. Yeah, that is a traditional Chinese gold coin of some kind. China dress again. Just like RAM and RAM figures, every month we get a few China dress figures nowadays. Nice pose though. Action pose, dynamic pose, I love that. Moving on to the next one from Komodesu ga Nanika, we have 1x7 scale Ariel from Amakuni and Hobby Japan, 23,500 yen out in October. Okay, so this figure, I remember this one quite well. Like, it looks like a really fine figure, really well-made figure. After all, this is Amakuni. But yeah, I mean, the anime, I did try watching a couple episodes, did not like it, despite the overwhelmingly positive reviews from those who did all the way to the end. So yeah, this is not my kind of thing. But to those of you who like this character or the anime, this is an excellent purchase for sure. Amakuni, you don't really have to ask too much questions. Next one from ReZero, we have another RAM figure. This is by Phoenix, 1x7 scale Aqua Op version. This is 30,000 yen. Came out in October. Okay, so at least this is something different from the huge amount of RAM figures out there in the market. Like this orb thing surrounding her, transparent, translucent, really nice. But once again, for a RAM figure, this is pretty out of character in some way, because no, RAM doesn't really smile like that. But this is a very, very attractive display piece. I mean, to put it on a shelf, I think anyone who is looking at your collection would easily notice this figure for being slightly different from the rest. Moving on to the next one from Eastream and Shibuya Scramble figure, we have Nakano Itsuki. Okay, floral dress version, 27,000 yen, out in October. Okay, this one, there are a set of 5 figures, of course, of these quintuplet sisters in this floral dress pattern. Each has their own signature color, like Power Rangers, you know, with that fans behind her. My comment regarding these 5 girls remain exactly the same. The Good Smile 1x6 skills should be your primary choice, and if you want to pick up more figures of the same character, then maybe this one is worth considering. Moving on to the next one, this is not safe for work. Original character Chika by Ami Pleiades and Rocket Boy, 22,000 yen, out in October. So we have something as flat as an airport runway, or a washboard as the Japanese likes to call it. Now this is the only picture I'm going to put up, but I have to censor it, of course. But yeah, there is nothing to see. I think YouTube's algorithm can't even pick up this picture over here being adult rated just because it is so flat. Could have been a guy, you know, could have been a boy. I mean, we censor the nipples of women, but not men, right? So much for gender equality. Moving on to the next one from Choujigen Neptune, we have 1x7 scale Neptune Summer Vacation version by Alice Glint and Broccoli. 25,000 yen, out in October. Okay, I kind of like this figure. Like, this is really casual, really natural looking. This is why I love casual outfit figures in a way. But this specific character Neptune, I've lost count how many Neptune figure this brand Broccoli has made over the years. Yeah, for some reason they love this character so much, or maybe they are actually working with the developers and the producers behind this game. My own speculation, by the way. Broccoli is far from the best figure brands. They're kind of mid as well, but this is not a very detailed figure in any way, so there is less likelihood for them to mess up a figure like this. Moving on to the next one, we have Kusanagi Motoko from Ghost in the Shell version SAC by Mega House. Of course, if it is by Mega House, it has to be non-scale. A lot of the figures are non-scale. This is 21 centimeters, 1x8 basically. Okay, I think I like that figure of Kusanagi Motoko made by Emon Toys a bit more, I think. Next one from Uma Musume, we have Sakura Bakushin O Luquia. Okay, Luquia. This is Luquia. 1x7 scale by Mega House. 22,000 yen. We already have 15 user pictures. Very nice. So this is the official picture we're getting from Mega House, right? But the figure is leaning forward so much, like almost 45 degrees. To look at that. This is almost 45 degrees of lean. This is a pleasant surprise and a good thing. I'm happy to be proven wrong, really, because in the past, Mega House, they release figures like this. They include a few extra plastic rods for you. This one, maybe the figure is light enough that it is not necessary. Next one over here, we have Yoki Mikan at 1x6 scale Y shirt version by Hobby Stock and Wing Company. The best emoto, not just in To Love Ru, but she is like the ideal emoto across the entire world of anime, right? This one is 22,000 yen, which is pretty expensive for what you're getting. I mean, an anime girl, which is a pretty short character to begin with, in a plain white shirt. 22,000 yen is really expensive. And given that there are so many Mikan figures out there, I guess you should go for other options out there rather than picking up this one, unless there is a huge discount. Next one over here, not safe for work. Okay, original character Kowakuma Riyas, 1x6 scale by Pink Charm, 26,000 yen, out in October. Now this one, I remember this figure very well also. I love the colors over here. This pastel color scheme over here, like light blue, violet, and then that pink color over there. I love the color scheme on this thing so much, even though it is leaning towards the girlish side of things. Like, this is the kind of color girls like, not necessarily guys, but I still like this a lot. The next figure over here, okay, this is from, a seasonal anime, if I remembered correctly, Dai Kotute Banko, or Bunko. Okay, 1x7 scale by Phoenix and Furio. I remember criticizing this figure so bad because it was one of the most overpriced figure of year 2022 when it went on pre-order, right? So this thing, It's so simple. Like, this is a really low detail anime character, right? Yeah, very simple character design, and this thing was going for 27,000 yen each, which is absurd. It is ridiculous. It is preposterous. The 27,000 yen was bad enough in year 2022, but even in year 2023, where the yen has already depreciated a bit more, it is still not justifiable. I don't see this thing being worth 27,000 yen. Not to mention, this is a seasonal anime. Just forget about the fact that she even existed in the first place, right? The next one from Azur Lane. We have Golden Head 1/6 skill. Biggest little cheerleader version, whatever that means, by Alice Glint and 1000. This is going for 34,500 yen, really expensive, out in October. Now, I wasn't paying attention to this figure. This figure, I actually saw a few user pictures and review samples pictures on Facebook, but I wasn't really paying attention on, like, how good the figure is. Hopefully this figure turns out well, because this is a really premium price for a cheerleader figure. The next figure over here, original character DZ12SX. That is how Elon Musk names his children, right? I'm gonna call that Z. I know you Americans pronounce it as Z. Uzuka Baniko 1/6 skill by Ami Test and Vortex, 26,000 yen, out in October. Yeah, the color scheme on this thing is sweet. Color signs, warm and cold color. Orange or yellow, you combine it with blue or violet purple. They always go really well together, this color matching over here. That jacket, did she steal that from Amy? You know that girl behind that anime, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Yeah, I think the jacket is very similar to hers over here. Yeah, great color scheme, great character design. That is about it. The next one from Love Life, we have Nakasu Kasumi 1/7 skill by Plum. This must be from the latest series. 21,000 yen, out in October. Plum has been making a lot of Love Life figures lately. Yeah, nice face expression over there. This is kind of nice. But to me, I mean, the overall color scheme of this character, it feels like she is wearing cabbage somehow. I mean, 1/7 scale figure like this, 21,000 yen, 20,000 yen sounds a lot more like a reasonable price over 26 or 27,000 yen. Next one, okay, we have Asuna from Sword Art Online in Chinese dress by Bful. This is a surprise to me. I wasn't aware that Bful actually makes figures from Asuna or even from any mainstream anime or game title. I thought they only make, original characters, artwork characters. Okay, so this thing for 19,000 yen or so, I still can't recommend it. Like, even for a Chinese dress figure, this is on the plain side of things. Now, here is a 1/5 scale version going for 28,000 yen almost, which I still can't recommend, because for figures like this, like, all you're getting for a figure like this is size and nothing else, right? I would rather you spend on a more detailed and more higher quality figure, despite the scale being smaller at 1/7. Next one over here from Gundam Seed, we have Lacquer's Clan by BN Figure, Bandai Namco. This one is only 300 Chinese yuan, and if I'm not mistaken, this is exclusive to China, I think. Though it wouldn't be impossible to grab one via proxy services and so on. Lacquer's Clan, yeah, I love the 1/4 scale by Freeing. I love that one. And then I think Mega House made a 1/8 scale of her, which is still quite nice. I mean, if you want figures of characters from Gundam series, you have to stick to Bandai or their subsidiaries. You don't really have a choice anyway. Next, original character Lilia, 1/7 scale classical blue style from D-Seater, Chinese figure brand, 18,000 yen. So with this figure, I mean, okay, you look at this figure, this may be affordable, right? This may be affordable, but I think you can tell the difference when you look at this picture and you compare it to a figure that cost a few thousand yen more. Like, the level of detailing is different. This is less detailed. Like, you look at the front hairpiece over there, the sculpting is not as refined, right? But I won't complain too much, because this is a lower cost figure. After all, you get what you pay for. Moving on to the next one from Honkai Impacted, we have 1x7 scale Alicia Miss Pink version. I'll call it maid version. By Apex Toys, 828 Chinese yuan or 18,000 Japanese yen, out in October as well. Now this one to me is a no-brainer. If you loved Honkai Impacted, this is a must-have, right? I was thinking of reviewing this figure in the past actually, but given my budget limitations, I had to skip this figure. I have yet to purchase any Honkai Impacted figures, but for Honkai Star Rail, I have a couple of third-party resins on pre-order. Not until the second quarter of next year, they are not yet out. Next one, Kido Sentai Iron Saga. We have 1x6 scale Elaine from Step Dream. I've never heard of this brand before. Okay, Chinese brand. You see, there is a Chinese pricing, 1100 Chinese yuan or 22,000 Japanese yen. I love the props. Like, I'm more attracted to the props than the main figure itself. This is a recurring theme with me. Alright, not really my kind of figure, though I do really like the props that came with this figure. 22,000 yen for this entire set of stuff you get. Quite a nice price. Next one, okay, this figure came out back in August in China, but for the international market, yeah, 2 months later. So what's the name again? Okay, how am I supposed to pronounce that? Must be one of Elon Musk's daughters, you know, she names their his children like that. Okay, 1x7 scale from Weebos. Okay, this one, actually, I am very interested in this figure since she came out 2 months ago in China. But then again, once again, priorities are holding me back. Like, it doesn't matter if I don't know anything about the character, right? Because the character design on this thing is quite unique. I'm not really sure how to describe it in words, but this is like steampunk and science fiction mixed together. It feels like that to me. It is very unique, very special. The pose, however, is quite common among X-rated figure brands, like, you know, stretching your leg really wide to show how flexible you are. The pose is not anything new, but the theme and the design of this character is very different from what I've seen with most anime figures. And the last figure for this segment, original character Himeko 1x6 scale by Lovely Project, 900 Chinese yuan or 22,700 Japanese yen. Okay, this figure over here, I like her quite a bit despite the simplicity because it feels relatable, you see. This looks like that typical social media influencer pretty girl you see on TikTok or Instagram with 6 or 7 digit followers, like, oh, this is my outfit of the day, OOTD, hashtag, and then, yeah, take a picture, a selfie of herself in front of a mirror. For some reason, girls, they love taking selfies of themselves using a bathroom mirror, a washroom mirror, instead of using that front camera. Maybe because they want to capture the entire body. Who knows, right? So this looks like that typical influencer picture you see in social media. It feels relatable. And that is what is great about this figure. And if I were to get this figure, I would keep that mask on. Yeah, I mean, I'm out of work during the COVID pandemic and I'm just taking a selfie of myself at home, you know. Yeah, this is great. I love this a lot. And that is all for this segment for scale figures without an exact release date. Okay, we shall move on to the next segment. Which segment should we go for? Okay, the next one, let's go for low-cost figures. Okay, so the next few figures I'm about to cover, these are all pop-up rates or equivalent, like Furious Tanitor low-cost figures. This is the list for only pop-up rates, but overall there are not many this month. We shall go through them very quickly. The first one from Hololive, Takanashi Kiara from Good Smile Company, 5,000 yen, out on 26th of October. Hololive staff, needless to say, you like her, you buy one immediately if you have the budget. In Japan, I don't know how popular Kiara is. I mean, there are possibly other VTubers more popular than her. But with Hololive staff, I wouldn't take my chances, I suppose, because they are known to go up in value, at least in the Japanese market. But probably Good Smile would not hesitate to re-release it because this is a pop-up rate. Next one, Shingeki no Kyojin Armin Arlet Colossus Titan version L. Okay, this is 8,000 yen, out on 26th of October. I would prefer my figures to be accurate to scale. Well, not accurate, but feels more, how to put it, like something we see in the anime. We want to follow the same skill, right? So I would buy maybe normal pop-up rates of Attack on Titan human characters, and then something like this, maybe get an XL, the 1x4 skill, right? So if a huge Titan and the human figure is this small, I think that would be a nicer display. Next one over here, okay, I call this anime Slow Second Life, right? This is a seasonal anime. And it is interesting that this character from this seasonal anime actually managed to get enough popularity for Good Smile to consider a low-cost scale figure. Okay, her name is Marika, 4,364 yen, 4,800 yen. The character design reminds me of this older seasonal anime as well. I think Mao something. I think it was this demon girl, but the whole content of the anime was about economics. Yeah, it was quite interesting. The color scheme is very similar over here. And as for the character design, feels like that typical country girl who lives in the village. Okay, next one from Kimetsu no Yaiba, we have Himejima Gyome. Okay, pop-up rate 4,800 yen as well. This one, to me, right, the entire series of pop-up rate figures from Kime Yaiba by Good Smile feels really underwhelming. Yeah, I mean, I'm not impressed at all. But the good news is, yeah, there are price figure options out there. The next figure, FGO, Jen Diak, or maybe Fate Apocrypha as well, depending on where you got to know her first. Okay, this is by Max Factory. That is the good news. The figure quality could be a bit better than Good Smile's own pop-up rates. But despite this being made by Max Factory, I see the main problem over here is the pose of this figure. It feels really forced and unnatural, or it almost feels like watching her marching. Yeah, marching. And the position of both of her arms, the position is like that. Like I don't know. It feels really stiff and unnatural over here. Still, this is a good buy for those of you who can't afford the scale figure. Next one from Takopi no Genzai, we have Kuze, Shizuka, and Takopi. Okay, this is 4,800 yen out on 18th of October. So for figures like this, don't expect any high quality scale figures for 20,000 yen or more. They won't bother. Simple characters like this, pop-up rates would suffice if you like the character. Up next, from Shingeki no Kyojin Final Season. What part is that? Is this part 1, part 2, part 69? Right? Levi, suit version by Good Smile, 4,800 yen as well. So once again, whenever you get a male character in a tuxedo, in an official suit of some kind, in the end, the final product looks more like a price figure, right? Yeah, I would love to see a lot more folds on the outfit with some shading on it, but this is a price figure. After all, yeah, I do consider pop-up rate as a premium price figure, right? The next one, from the same anime as well, Eren Yeager. Same comment. At least, I think Levi's suit looks a lot better because of the blue color. This black color, grey color over here makes the figure look even more like price figure in a way. Up next, from BNHA, this is Jiro Kyoka by Good Smile, and then Takara Tomy is the license holder, of course, 4,800 yen as well. Now, this is quite a nice looking pop-up rate figure. I think this is among the better looking pop-up rates this month, together with that Hololive character earlier, right? One of the better looking ones. Up next, from Danmachi, we have Belle Cranel from Good Smile, 4,800 yen. Okay, pop-up rates, I mean, if you want to collect the entire cast of Danmachi, then pop-up rate, I'm afraid, is your only choice, right? These male characters like Belle Cranel, you won't get high quality scale figures. So you get the entire cast in the same scale. I think pop-up rate is a good buy. So for that reason alone, I think this is a good buy. Maybe because I'm a bit biased because I really enjoyed the anime. Up next, okay, we have more Danmachi figures. There are two different versions of this Rio Leon from Danmachi, 4,800 yen. This is the standard version, the regular version, where the pose is okay, not too bad. But then I think the limited edition over here, I like this pose a lot more. I have always loved this body turn pose where The girl is showing her backside towards you and then she turns around to look at you. This is a body turn pose in a way. So yeah, I like this pose a bit more. But realistically speaking, if I were to go for this figure of Rio Leon, yeah, I would buy both anyway. However, I do believe there is a scale figure of her by, is it by Alice Glint? I can't remember the brand anymore. I think it was Alice Glint. Since I brought up her name, let's check her out. Okay, so we click on Rio Leon over here. Yeah, found her. This one, I think. Yeah, this is the only high quality scale figure of her. Yep, Alice Glint. I still remember this one very well. So this is the only high quality scale figure of her and I do highly recommend it. I can see the value going up even with this one. The next three figures, okay, they are not pop-up rates, they are Tenitol, full use low cost figure. This is beta from the Eminence in Shadow, 6,300 yen. Yeah, to me, I feel I'm looking at the price figure over here. With Tenitol series, right, it is a bit inconsistent. Some figures look really well made, while the others look a bit price figure-like. This one is the latter, unfortunately. Of course, the quality would likely to be better than 2,000 yen, 1,500 yen price figures, but let's just wait for the new Kadokawa scale figure beta, right, that looks majestic as heck. Yeah. Up next, we have Tenitol Hatsune Miku Tenitol Neo Tokyo series. I'm speaking too fast over here. Trying to keep the video as short as possible. Okay, this is 6,600 yen. So basically, cyberpunk-ish version of Hatsune Miku. This version of Miku not really my cup of tea, so I'm skipping her. And the next one over here, okay, this thing is gonna sell like hotcakes. From Niji Sanji with Hoshikawa Sara from Tenitol. This is 5,500 yen. Yeah, I like this a lot. The face expression included. I think the face expression is the main reason why I like her in the first place, right? This is a fairly sophisticated looking outfit for a low cost figure. And probably as we speak, as I talk to you guys over here on YouTube, maybe the value has started going up. I haven't checked the aftermarket value price yet, but my guess is it might go up over here. Okay, let's take a look at the comments below. Oh, there seems to be some quality control issues. This photo looks a bit better, but her hands bother me because they look like they are melted. Oh no. Oh no, but let's have a look at this picture on X. Okay, let's have a look at this picture over here. I think her hands look fine, but the details are not well defined enough, no? So it almost looks like the whole thing is melting, right? But this is a low cost figure, I suppose, so the amount of details they can carve into the figure is quite limited after all. Yeah, this is just a low cost figure look, not like there is a problem with the sculpting anyway. There we go, Ninning Game is already asking for 7,500 yen. And perhaps some other sites might even ask for more. But I do see this figure going up in value after release, right? Okay, and that is all for low cost figures. The last segment for today's video, re-releases, right? But we'll start off with a pop-up rate figure. Okay, so this is the last segment, re-releases. This pop-up rate Koma Eda Nagito from Danganronpa 1-2. This came out back in year 2022, just a year ago. Now he is being re-released again. I suppose that I'm not surprised. There are not many options for this character, right, in the figure market. I think Kotobukiya made an Art FX figure of him. But other than that, yeah, I think that is about it. Up next, okay, this pair of figures are extremely popular. I've seen so many people posted their pictures of this pair of figures on social media. Artago and Takao from Azur Lane, Race Queen version by Alter, 36,800 yen. Of course, you need to buy both. There are people who buy only either one. To me, it doesn't make sense. You need to get both just because, yeah, they squeeze their oppai against each other like this. This is really great. Up next, okay, this figure of Elf, Lin Xia from Vertex. Of course, I think this was the very first Elf figure ever made under this entire long list of Elf figures. This was the very first one, and if you were to get this re-release, remember to get this version with the grass base, this limited version. The standard version does not come with a grass base, and that is literally the only difference between standard and limited. Doesn't really make any sense, right? So this L figure came out back in December 2020 for 18,000 yen, May 2022 for 19,800 yen, and now October 2023 for 20,000 yen. Great value. Third release, right? Shows you how popular she is, and I have been recommending this L figure since day one. I started talking about them. Yeah. Up next, from Card Captor Sakura with Hinomoto Sakura, yeah, Kotobukiya Art FX J series 1x7 skill. Okay, 1x7. Normally this series of figures is 1x8, right? 1x7. Going for 17,000 yen. This figure came out back in year 2017. 6 years later, a re-release. So 6 years ago, this figure was around 15,000 yen. Now 17,000 yen. I would even argue and say that this figure is cheaper in year 2023 than back 6 years ago. Just do the currency conversion, right? So these re-releases in general, their price increase is not that much, but you get the same quality figure that came out many years ago. They are always value purchases if you want any of them. Up next, also from the same series, Kotobukiya Art FXJ 1x8. You see, 1x7, 1x8, the skill inconsistency. Can't say I like that. This is Toga Himiko from BNHA. Came out in year 2020 for 9,200 yen. 2023, 12,000 yen. Still a value buy today. Though my favorite version of Himiko Toga has to be the one by Spiritiel. Yeah, that one was like 27,000 yen or so, I think. One of my friends bought it. It was amazing. This is a budget scale figure. And yeah, this is still going to sell really well regardless. Up next, okay, this is a best seller in Japan. Double SS Gridman Takarada Rika 1x7 scale by Fat Company. Came out in year 2020 for 15,000 yen. Now in year 2023 for 15,800 yen. This is cheaper than 3 years ago. Okay. Extremely simple figure by a really mid-tier figure company, but this thing sold out and the value went up to like 40,000 yen in Japan. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. I have no idea how any sane person would pay 40,000 yen for a simple 1x7 scale Fat Company figure. It makes no sense at all, but in Japan, how things work over there, all they care about is the character. They don't care how good or how bad the figure turns out. If the character is crazy popular, they'll still go ahead and buy it regardless. Yeah. Up next, we have Yumi from Senran Kagura. This is 1x7 scale wedding lingerie version by Good Smile and Kadokawa. Came out in year 2020 for 15,000 yen. Re-released in October 2023 for 18,000 yen, which is still a value purchase. Yeah. So I still don't understand this whole concept of lingerie wedding. Maybe, yeah, this is post-wedding ceremony where you go straight into bed to have babies, and this is how you wear, I suppose, right? Senran Kagura. It is extremely popular in Japan as well. I mean, look at every scale figure from this series, regardless of brand. Yeah, more than likelihood, the value has gone up as well if there was no re-release, right? Up next, we have Aisaka Taiga from Toradora, a classic and a fan favorite. 1x7 scale by CA Works. CA Works is Chara Ani, but I guess it is already mentioned over there. Came out in year 2021 for 18,000 yen, similar price in year 2023. Making this an absolute bargain once again, right? Okay. Sometimes the Japanese can be way too honest for their own good. They could have increased this by 3,000 or 4,000 yen, and I believe she would have still sold just as well, right? Up next, from Steins Gate, we have Makise Kuisu by Dreamtech or Wave Corporation, White Coat Style. This was 15,000 yen back in year 21. 2 years later, 17,000 yen. Still a great purchase. But if you can save up a bit more and go for the new one by Good Smile, yeah, that one with all the computers behind her, that is hands down the best Makise Kuisu figure I've seen so far. Yeah, the one that came out this month as well. Go for that one if you can. Lily from Pokemon. This is 1x8 scale by Kotobukiya. Came out back in year 2018 for 8,500 yen. Now we get a huge increase to 14,500 yen. But still, for Pokemon collectors, this is still worth picking up. Or you can always get that BDSM Cynthia figure from Dodomo Studio. Okay, and that concludes today's video on monthly highlights figures released in October 2023. Which figures are you picking up? Are you buying? Like, you did not pre-order one but you plan to buy after release? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please do give this video a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe to this channel for more figure content. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.